This is Rusted Moss. This is a Metroidvania with a particular focus on one mode of transportation: grappling. Grappling is the name of the game. It sounds like a very simple concept really, but grappling is physics-based. Sure, you can do basic things like swinging around, but the main trick is that your grapple is actually elastic. This allows for some insane maneuverability. One example being using grapple to gain some height. Admittedly, on a controller, grappling can be a little difficult to get used to, but once you truly master the grapple, no other movement techniques feel nearly as satisfying as this game's grapple. And this is like among the first of the few abilities you unlock in this game. Pair the grapple with some of the other mobility techniques you get in the game, well, let's just say this game's gonna be a speedrunner's dream. Of course, there's more to this game than just the movement. There's also combat. You have access to a small but distinct arsenal. Your different weapons have different properties, and they all handle very differently as well. And in case you do get hurt, you can heal yourself, which requires mana, which can be obtained by damaging and killing enemies. The ability to heal fairly easily, combined with your low health pool, keeps combat engaging. You can't just plow through enemies, you have to learn how to dodge, and dodging at times requires masterful use of your grapple. You also have access to trinkets. These trinkets are equipable items giving your character special abilities. Many of them are passive abilities, but some of them give your character brand new attacks that they can use. Some of these trinkets can be bought in the store, but many of them have to be found out in the wild. There's also character upgrades in the wild as well, upgrading one of your stats. The game is absolutely brutal though. At times, the game veers into bullet hell territory, but with your diligence and skill, and perhaps maybe a few retries, you can definitely push through. To be fair, the game does recommend using keyboard and mouse, and I used a controller instead. Guess that means I'm the one to blame, huh? Now it's time to talk about the story itself. No major spoilers here. You play as Fern, a changeling seemingly disguised as a human. You've betrayed humanity, and it's your job to bring about the end of the Age of Man. Admittedly, the story as it's delivered doesn't really tell you that much. You can find lore entries around the world by reading computer terminals. As for what happens in the game, about 90% of it is collecting pieces of Titania, Queen of the Fays. That said, specific plot points themselves are kind of far and few between, but this lends itself quite well to creating a non-linear experience. In most Metroidvanias, there's a specific intended path that you need to go, while in Rusted Moss, while there is a sort of intended path, the game basically opens up in such a way that you can basically go in any direction you'd like, so long as you know how to use the grapple. This is both a curse and a blessing. While the game gives you a general direction of where you need to go, like going west, it doesn't really tell you where you need to go, and at times, I would get lost. In my own personal experience, it seems like most players' first experiences won't be the same at all. It is worth mentioning that this game is quite easy to sequence break, as I definitely did that on my first playthrough. Using my superior grappling abilities, I managed to delay fighting a specific required boss for quite some time, unintentionally as well. Now we get to the audio-visual experience. Rusted Moss's art style is very reminiscent of something like Momodora, Reverie Under the Moonlight. Very nice looking pixel art. That said, every area in the game looks extremely distinct, with matching gameplay gimmicks as well. The game's soundtrack features a number of ambient pieces. Most of the soundtrack as you're exploring the world is quite peaceful, some would say even relaxing, though when you reach bosses in certain locked arenas, that's when the soundtrack's intensity kicks up. In terms of replay value, there are a ton of items to get. The game also features multiple different endings. I've only unlocked 2 so far. Furthermore, there's also additional replay value in playing people's workshop maps. That's right, there's a level editor. You can create your own maps, and you can publish them on Steam Workshop. You can hone your skills in these maps, or challenge yourself with some truly brutal community maps. That said, there aren't too many maps available on the workshop, but of course as time progresses there will be more and more of these maps. For those that enjoy high-level movement in video games, Rusted Moss is for you. The entire game is built around your grappling mechanic. As such, mastering your grapple is a must. But once you master grappling in this game, there's nothing quite like it in any other Metroidvania. If you liked this video, you should give it a thumbs up and spread the good gospel of high-tech lowlife. And if you want to see more high-tech lowlife, be sure to enable notifications and press the subscribe button. Furthermore, we have a community Discord server for enlightened individuals such as you. And in case you wanted to directly support high-tech lowlife, you can join our Patreon page.